author Charles Dickens was the most famous writer of his age, and is still thought to be one of the greatest storytellers of all time. A Christmas Carol is a true Christmas classic. It tells the story of how mean old Ebenezer Scrooge learns to celebrate Christmas and to think of others at this most magical time of the year. A Christmas Carol was first published on the 19th of December in 1843 and had sold out by Christmas Eve. Since then, it has been adapted many times for film, TV and theatre. This storybook is an adaptation for children of Dickens's original tale and is the perfect length for a bedtime story. Scrooge was hard and sharp as flint. The cold within him froze his old features and made his eyes red and his thin lips blue. He was a squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching and miserly man. Scrooge's business partner, Jacob Marley, had been dead 7 years, but the sign over the office door still said, Scrooge and Marley. It was Christmas Eve, and Scrooge was busy at work. Across the room, Bob Cratchit tried to warm himself at his candle. Scrooge was just too mean to put any more coal on the fire. "Merry Christmas, Uncle!" cried a cheerful voice. "I'm collecting money for the poor." It was Scrooge's nephew, Fred. "Bah!" said Scrooge. "Humbug!" "At least come for dinner with us tomorrow," said Fred. "Bah!" said Scrooge again. "Humbug!" At last it was time to close the office. Bob Cratchit hurried home, but not before stopping to slide down an icy hill. It was Christmas Eve after all. Christmas Eve was the same as any other day to Scrooge. His house was dark and dreary. Darkness was cheap, and Scrooge liked it that way. As Scrooge sat alone, he heard a strange noise, like someone dragging heavy chains up the stairs from the cellar. "Humbug!" said Scrooge. "I don't believe it." But Scrooge's face changed colour when a familiar figure appeared. "I am the ghost of Jacob Marley," cried the figure, clanking the chains it dragged behind it. "You will be haunted by 3 ghosts, Scrooge. The first when the clock strikes 1. Later that night, Scrooge awoke. Suddenly the room filled with light, and Scrooge found himself face to face with a strange figure. "Who are you?" asked Scrooge. "I am the ghost of Christmas past," said the figure. "Follow me." The ghost showed Scrooge many Christmases from his past. It showed him the Christmas when Scrooge was left to spend the holidays at school all alone. It showed him a Christmas party given by his first boss, Mr. Fezziwig. And finally the ghost showed Scrooge the Christmas he left Belle, his one true love, to concentrate on making money. "Show me no more," Scrooge implored. Scrooge woke in his bed again. When he opened the door to the next room, green leaves decorated the walls, and the loveliest Christmas foods were heaped on the floor. In the middle of the food sat a jolly giant. "Come in," boomed the giant. "I am the ghost of Christmas present. Come and know me better, man." The second ghost showed Scrooge many different Christmases. First it took him to Bob Cratchit's house. Although the Cratchits were poor, their little house was filled with happiness. bless us, every one, said the sickly-looking Tiny Tim. Then the ghost took Scrooge to his nephew Fred's house. It was full of Christmas fun and laughter. In every house they visit, the ghost sprinkled the spirit of Christmas. The church bell struck again, and the ghost of Christmas present disappeared. In its place stood a tall, mysterious ghost, wrapped in a black cloak. "Are you the ghost of Christmas yet to come?" asked Scrooge. The ghost said nothing, but just pointed forwards. "Lead on," said Scrooge. "I will follow you. Lead on, ghost." The third ghost showed Scrooge Christmases that had not yet happened. It showed him people talking about a man who had died. The man had been so mean that no one missed him at all. It showed him Bob Cratchit's house. Before it had been full of noise, but now it was quiet. And Tiny Tim's little chair stood empty. Finally, the ghost took Scrooge to a churchyard and pointed to a grave. Scrooge crept, trembling towards it, and read out his own name. Ebenezer Scrooge. "I can change. I promise," he begged. The next day, Scrooge woke and ran to the window. "What day is it?" he called to a boy outside. "Why, it's Christmas Day," replied the boy. "Ha!" laughed Scrooge. "I haven't missed it. Merry Christmas, everybody." Scrooge gave the boy money to buy the biggest turkey in the shop. "I'll send it to Bob Cratchit's," he laughed. Oh, it's twice the size of Tiny Tim." That afternoon, Scrooge went to dinner at his nephew's house. He was the perfect guest and joined in with all the fun. And what's more, he gave a very large donation to the poor. The next morning, Scrooge was at work early. "You're late," he growled when Bob Cratchit arrived. "I'm not going to stand for this any longer. I'm going to raise your pay and try and help you and your family, Bob," he joked. Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and much, much more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. And so, as Tiny Tim said, God bless us, every one.